There were two big court cases that I covered this week in Saskatoon, a historical child sex predator case and a second-degree murder trial. For an entire day, court heard the disturbing details of how Russell Dennis Wolfe sexually abused young girls in Saskatoon's inner city for more than a decade. He was charged in 2014 after police found sexual images and videos of 14 girls on his computers dating back to 1997. Wolfe lived in the King George neighborhood, and he would befriend young, vulnerable girls, invite them over to his house, and offer them drugs, alcohol, and money for sex. Now, the legal age of consent at the time was 14, so Wolfe claimed that he thought the underage girls were 14. However, it ended up most of the girls were actually between 11 and 13 years old. Court heard that in some cases, Wolfe would actually continue sexually assaulting and making child pornography with his victims over several years. He pleaded guilty to 20 child pornography, prostitution, and sexual assault charges. After the facts were presented in court this week, the Crown announced it is still considering making a dangerous offender application for Wolfe. That means instead of proceeding with sentencing in the usual manner, this is a longer process that would seek to have Wolfe declared either a dangerous or a long-term offender. Dangerous offenders can receive indeterminate prison sentences, while both dangerous and long-term offenders can receive prison terms followed by long periods of supervision. The Crown is expected to make its application in June. For the last 2 weeks, I was also covering a murder trial in Saskatoon for a man accused of stabbing and killing Billy Johnston in the Northwoods Inn parking lot in 2015. And yesterday, after deliberating for 8 hours, a jury found Alvin Patrick Jr. Naistus guilty of second-degree murder. That means the jury believed that Naistus intended to kill Johnston when he stabbed him in the heart. Witnesses had said throughout the trial that both men were holding bladed weapons during a heated altercation in the parking lot. The defense argued that Naistus stabbed Johnston in self-defense, but the jury didn't buy it. In its closing arguments, the Crown reminded the jury about a cell phone video taken by a witness showing Naistus chasing Johnston, lunging at him, and stabbing him. Now, the victim's family members were in the courtroom for the late-night verdict, and they said justice was served. His sister told me that Johnston is from Ontario but came to Saskatoon for work, and although he was struggling with addictions issues, she called him a gentle giant. Naistus told his supporters, who were visibly upset, that he plans on appealing the guilty verdict. Second-degree murder carries a mandatory minimum sentence of life in prison with no parole for 10 years. However, a judge does have the option of raising the parole eligibility to 25 years. Sentencing submissions will be made on Monday. As always, you can go to the StarPhoenix.com to read more detailed accounts of these stories.